Right now at 8, Governor Evers signs off on a pay raise to UW employees after a several months-long political fight. Plus, the U.S. has begun conducting airstrikes in the Middle East in what the Biden administration is calling a multi-tiered response. The details straight ahead.
And we're going to see a very nice weekend ahead of us. All the full details coming up.
Good morning and thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings. I'm Kyle Pazorski. It is Saturday, February 3rd. We got some breaking news this morning of two people who were stabbed in a dispute in a Fitchburg neighborhood. Fitchburg police were called to the Belmar neighborhood for a report of a large group gathered there. Two people were stabbed with non-life-threatening injuries, and they found a car had been intentionally rammed into another. Police say everyone involved knew each other, and there is no threat to the public. Also new overnight, the man who Madison police say hit and killed a 20-year-old woman on the Beltline has turned himself in. The Madison Police Department identified 59-year-old Jules Tongna Taman as the suspect. MPD says he turned himself in around 10 last night and was booked into the Dane County Jail. A warrant had previously been issued for his arrest. Taking a look outside this morning, Jacob Montesano is here standing by for what the day ahead will be like. Jacob, how are you doing?
Doing very well, and the forecast is also looking very nice across the next several days. Right now, we are still seeing some cloud cover, but we are going to see the skies clear up a little bit during the afternoon. Right now, mostly cloudy, current temperature at 33. If we take a look at the visibility, though, this is the best news because really this has been the only hazard this week as we've been seeing some fog during the morning. But right now, there are a few spots where visibility is down to around 3 miles, a little bit more in the central portion of the state up near Wausau. But for the most part, the fog not really an issue this morning. Here's a look at the current temperatures across our entire region. Lower 30s for the most part, a few locations up near Wausau in the upper 20s, but mostly right around that freezing mark. A little bit warmer for you folks in La Crosse, also 34 degrees in Lone Rock. Winds aren't too bad either. Most areas below 10 miles per hour, but it is a little bit gustier out near Iowa and Minnesota. But for the most part here in Wisconsin, we are seeing some fairly calm winds. Looking at the current radar, we also are seeing very dry conditions, and that's the case for a lot of surrounding areas as well. Most of the Midwest and Great Lakes, pretty dry. There is some rain in the central Great Plains as well as the Rockies, and all that precipitation is to the south and west of us, and that's going to stay there for the next several days as Wisconsin will be very dry. The forecast for today, though, will bring sunny skies by the afternoon with high temperatures in the lower 40s. We'll see winds maxing out at around 6 to 8 miles per hour. Not really going to be a huge factor. And then for Madison, very similar highs in the lower 40s. I'll talk more in detail about the rest of the weekend and next week coming up a little bit later.
Jacob, thank you. We will check back in just a bit. Governor Tony Evers signed off today on Friday on a 4% pay raise for building trades employees at UW-Madison and other universities of Wisconsin. The move comes roughly 2 months after the UW System Board of Regents approved a deal with Republicans in the state legislature to unlock funding for the raises. In exchange, the UWs will freeze the number of diversity, equity, and inclusion positions across its schools through 2026. Attorneys for a 15-year-old boy accused of killing a 10-year-old girl in 2022 are appealing a judge's ruling to keep the case in adult court. The teen is accused of luring Lily Peters into the woods, attacking her and strangling her until she died. Last week, a judge denied moving the case out of adult court, saying it would diminish the severity of the crime. Attorneys for the teen, who at this point has only been identified by the initials CPB, said he'd receive better treatment if his case was moved to the juvenile system. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is ruling that Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips will appear on the ballot during April's presidential primary. Phillips sued the Wisconsin Elections Commission and State Presidential Preference Selection Committee last month. The congressman argued that the committee illegally ignored his request to be put on the ballot. Phillips is the only elected official running against President Biden in this year's Democratic primary. Now let's take a live look at Washington, D.C. Last night, the U.S. began retaliatory airstrikes in Iran-backed targets in Iraq and Syria. President Joe Biden ordering those strikes on about half a dozen locations using B-1 bombers. The attacks were in retaliation for the drone strike that killed 3 U.S. service members on Sunday. Bradley Blackburn has the latest on the conflict.
The air assault targeted dozens of sites in Iraq and Syria. 2 B-1 bombers were among aircraft used, and U.S. Central Command reported more than 85 targets hit, including command and control centers, weapons depots, and drone storage facilities. all linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard and affiliated militia groups. The U.S. blames an Iran-backed militia called the Islamic Resistance in Iraq for an attack on a U.S. outpost in Jordan last Sunday, while an air defense system was offline to allow the safe return of a U.S. drone from a mission. An Iranian-made drone struck sleeping quarters, wounding 40 and killing 3.
I don't think the adversaries are of a one-and-done mindset, and so they have a lot of capability. I have a lot more.
Since the start of the Israel-Hamas war last October, U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria have been targeted at least 165 times. But the U.S. has avoided striking Iran directly, trying to prevent a larger war. In a statement Friday, Iran's president said, "We will not start a war, but if a cruel force wants to bully us, the Islamic Republic of Iran will give a strong response." The strikes were approved by President Biden and launched just a few hours after he attended the dignified transfer of the remains of those 3 U.S. soldiers. Staff Sergeant William Rivers and Sergeants Brianna Moffitt and Kennedy Sanders all received promotions.
CBS's Bradley Blackburn reporting. Officials tell CBS News there will be another round of strikes in Iraq and Syria and joint U.S. and British strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. U.S. stocks surged Friday amid strong tech earnings and a stronger than expected jobs report. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all closed out the week higher. The economy added a stunning 353,000 jobs in January, far more than the roughly 176,000 economists were expecting. And here are Friday's closing numbers on Wall Street. The Dow setting a new record high, up 135 to 38,654. The NASDAQ jumps 267 points. The S&P 500 also at a record high of 52 at 4,958. And those jobs numbers, by the way, are huge. You can see how many were added there. The largest growth was in the professional and business services, healthcare, and retail. The unemployment rate remains unchanged at 3.7%. Now looking ahead for many Madison students and parents, the early starts they've experienced this year may likely continue next fall. Madison Schools Interim Superintendent Lisa Queefstead tells us in a one-on-one interview that the bus driver shortage they've seen this year is likely to continue.
I would imagine that we are looking at somewhat of a tiered system again for 24-25. It will depend on the number of drivers that we can get.
The district expects to bring a plan to the school board in April. Before then, parents will be able to weigh in through a survey on the early start times. And you can see more from our interview this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record. Dane County Sheriff's deputies will soon be equipped with body-worn cameras. Sheriff Calvin Barrett announced the launch of a new body cam pilot program on Friday. It is funded through the county budget and will place body cameras on more than 36 deputies in the West District. Barrett says the pilot phase will allow his office to find out and what works and what needs to change before he hopes to implement the cameras countywide.
We're measuring what are the best practices, right? When do we activate them? How do we activate them? Also, what are the needs for what are the resources we need to appropriately go through all of the video, to document the video, to get it prepared, not only to give to the public, but also to the district attorney's office.
Dane County is joining Madison in the body camera experiment. The city council approved Madison's body cam pilot program last fall. Madison's program will start April 1st. Dane County's will follow sometime later this year. Dane County is ahead of schedule when reaching its renewable electricity goals. It's being recognized for achieving 100% renewable electricity status, the first county in Wisconsin to achieve the feat. The 17-megawatt Yahara solar project enabled county facilities to offset their electricity use with local renewable generation. It was honored as part of Renew Wisconsin's 2023 Clean Energy Honor Roll. The county had a goal of being 100% renewable offset by 2025, but reached that goal early thanks to facilities like the Yahara solar project.
We're honored that Renew Wisconsin would recognize this achievement from Dane County, and we're very happy and proud to be partnering with so many different folks from MG&E, Alliant Energy, Sunvest, and all the county departments that helped to make this possible.
In 2021, Dane County Executive Joe Parisi set a new goal that county facilities, fleet, and land operations be carbon neutral by 2030. And stick your tongue out if you're the newest animal at the Henry Vilas Zoo. 2 new rock hyraxes named Frenchie and Rizzo were introduced there on Friday. Rock hyraxes are native to Africa and parts of the Middle East. They're small in size, but their closest living relatives are elephants and manatees. You can now meet Frenchie and Rizzo inside the zoo's primate building. The gauntlet of the Big Ten will be ready to put to the test this weekend for the Wisconsin men's basketball team. They lost a heartbreaking game at Nebraska in overtime on Thursday. Next, they have a date with Purdue at the Kohl Center on Sunday for a top 10 matchup. This next game could really decide the fate of the standings in the Big Ten. Wisconsin senior forward Tyler Wall joined Zach Hanley on this week's Wisconsin Huddle, touching on the fact that these big games are the reason talent comes to Madison.
So you come to Wisconsin because you grew up watching those games. You saw us playing Duke, you saw us playing Michigan, hitting buzzer beaters, all that kind of stuff. You come here to play in these games, compete for Big Ten championships, and win a lot of these games while you're doing it.
You can see Sunday's game against Purdue right here on WISC-TV at noon, and Zach will check in with more sports news coming up later in the show at 8:51. Time now is 8:10. Still ahead, jury deliberations set to begin in the trial against the mother of a Michigan school shooter. And this is a live look outside. Jacob has your full forecast just ahead on weekend mornings.
Call for action only on News 3 Now.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Beauty drops our jaws, dilates our eyes, and beauty is something we can create right now at Floor & Decor.
News 3 Now and Vortex presents Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
It's the annual RV show and sale you don't want to miss at Interstate RV, February 2nd through the 4th. Great RV show pricing just up the road. Highway 51, Poinet.
Hello, Wisconsin insurance brokers. Are you seeking outstanding dental coverage options? Momentum Insurance is your answer. A locally owned Madison company, we specialize in meeting Wisconsin residents' dental insurance needs. Our comprehensive coverages, competitive commissions, bonus programs, and online portals are what set us apart. Partner with us to elevate your group dental offerings. For details, visit our website at MomentumPlans.com. Momentum Insurance, your partner for outstanding dental coverage.
First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms. News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know for the weekend and next week. We're going to remain dry through next Wednesday with the next chance of rain coming Thursday and Friday of next week. And even during that chance of rain, temperatures are going to remain in the 40s. At least the high temperatures will, and possibly even 50s for a few days. Now, with January coming to an end, here's a look at the temperatures throughout the month. Most of the month, we saw above average temperatures indicated by the orange, but we did have 9 straight days below average from the 13th to the 21st. As a whole, the month was 3.5 degrees above average, and similar to the temperatures, most of the snow occurred pretty much in a 5-day stretch. Now, this was right before the temperatures dropped, but we had more than half of the entire winter snowfall in those 5 days right there from the 9th to the 13th. The second half of the month, very dry, and we really haven't seen much precipitation, and there hasn't been a lot of snow on the ground since the temperatures have warmed up a little bit. And we are going to remain dry at least through Wednesday with almost a 0% chance of precipitation. But then Wednesday night, we'll see a small chance of rain before that rain then moves in by the time we get to Thursday, and it will continue through Friday. But temperatures are going to be too warm for any snowfall to form, so it will likely be only rainfall. Now, looking across the nation, plenty of rain to the south of us, especially in the southeastern United States over the weekend. We're then going to see another system move into the western half of the United States later this weekend and continue for the first half of next week. That system will slowly make its way back into our area. I shouldn't say back into our area, but slowly make its way into our area by the time we get to Thursday. And as I mentioned, that rain will likely last into Friday as well. But looking at the forecast for this afternoon, highs will be around 40, likely into the lower 40s for a few locations. We also will likely see sunshine by the time we get to the afternoon hours after some morning cloud cover. For tonight, we'll see low temperatures in the upper 20s. Now, these are the low temperatures, but these are pretty close to the average high temperatures that we normally see for this time of the year. And Sunday may be even warmer than today, with highs possibly in the middle 40s, close to 50 for you folks near La Crosse. And it's only going to warm up after that. So for the first half of next work week, we're going to see dry conditions and nice temperatures with possibly lower 50s for Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Thursday, we will see some rainfall, but we also could see some record high temperatures those days. For La Crosse, the 50s may occur as early as Tuesday, and it's possible you folks see 50s from Sunday through Thursday, as the high temperatures are going to be roughly in the upper 40s or lower 50s for those 5 days. So a little bit warmer in La Crosse, and also not quite as much rainfall, as we are going to see the rain continue into Friday for Madison, but not necessarily for you folks in La Crosse. So overall, it's going to be very mild for this time of the year. As I mentioned, we could be seeing record high temperatures when those highs get to the 50s. And even next weekend, we'll be a little bit colder, but still going to see highs around 40.
A mild February. Thank you, Jacob. Jury deliberations will begin Monday in the trial against the mother of a Michigan school shooter who killed 4 people in 2021. Jennifer Crumbly admitted Friday she and her husband gifted their son Ethan the gun he used days later in the attack at Oxford High School. She is facing 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for providing her son access to the murder weapon.
It was for him to use at the shooting range. We didn't just hand him a gun as a here you go, son. It was something he could use when we went to the range as a family together.
Ethan Crumbly pleaded guilty to the school shooting and is serving a life prison sentence. His father, James Crumbly, faces trial next month. 3 people died along Florida's Gulf Coast this week when a small plane crashed into a mobile home park in Clearwater, sparking a large fire that spread to nearby homes. 1 person aboard the plane was killed. 2 others on the ground died. The FAA says the pilot reported an engine failure before the crash. One neighbor says he was enjoying a quiet night in the porch before noticing the struggling plane.
We seen a plane come over top of our house, and the motor was popping, and watched it come down, and it made one last big pop, and then it crashed and exploded. And we seen the flames going up and all that.
The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating. The Grammys are this weekend in Los Angeles, but across the street from the red carpet is an eyesore, a deserted development tagged with graffiti from top to bottom. LAPD says vandals tagged over 24 floors of this luxury real estate development. At least 27 floors were covered with various graffiti. It started popping up at the abandoned towers earlier this week. Police say it's teamed up with district representatives to develop a plan to better secure the property going forward. And that's some news from outside of our area this morning. Still to come, how our latest warm-up is causing some problems for those who enjoy the cold. Plus, let's take a look at what's coming up with Will Loper. He shares the best in movies and streaming when we come back.
The biggest and best RV event in the Midwest is back. It's the Madison Camper and RV Show and Sale. See a huge selection of RVs and campgrounds under one roof. Meet Gilbert Brown, Gridiron Great. Tickets just $10 and kids are free. Seniors, you're welcome at half price on Friday. Enjoy the great outdoors at the Madison Camper and RV Show and Sale at the Alliant Energy Center Friday through Sunday, February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Because beauty excites. It energizes. It drops our jaws. Dilates our eyes. Makes us look twice. A beautiful home, a beautiful life, is something we create. And we can start right now at Floor & Decor.
If you don't have a good dental plan, or if your employer doesn't offer dental benefits, this is the deal you're looking for. Get the Carefree Dental Card, and for just $15.95 a month, you can see the dentist anytime and pay a whole lot less.
On my first visit, I saved $650.
Call the number on your screen and request your Carefree Dental Card free. See for yourself why Carefree is the best deal in dental.
Call 1-800-920-0664 to get your free Carefree Dental Card and member guide.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Thanks to Skyrizi, I'm on my way with clearer skin. 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it. Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
Your logo can identify your company, inspire your customers, and energize your team. We're 4imprint, and we can help your logo create moments that matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Nominate the Best of Madison online today, including Animal Hospital of Verona, Best Veterinarian, providing compassionate care for over 40 years. Nominate all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com. Announcing Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Readers Poll for 2024. Nominate the Best of Madison online today, including Harker Heating and Cooling for Best Heating and Cooling. Nominate Harker and all your favorites on MadisonMagazine.com.
Here's a look at the temperature forecast compared to average. This shows you just how above normal the temperatures are for this time of the year. So the darker the red, the more above average the temperatures will be. So as we get into the beginning of next week, definitely above average, but the reds are only going to get darker for Wisconsin as we head towards the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday especially, we're going to see well above average temperatures, and we're starting to get into the territory where we can see temperatures 25 degrees above average, which is very, very uncommon. Now, as I mentioned, we also earlier were talking about possible records by the time we get to the middle of next week, with those temperatures possibly reaching the 50s. So here's a look at the 10-day temperature forecast for Madison. Highs will be in the middle 40s for the first half of the week, possibly 50 by Wednesday and Thursday. But for those of you in La Crosse, temperatures will be even warmer. So get out and enjoy the weather. It's going to be fairly dry as well until Thursday.
Thank you, Jacob. And this season's mild temperatures are leaving an impact behind on businesses that rely on winter recreation to survive. There's only so many months of the year you can snowmobile or ice fish, but this winter those opportunities are few and far between. The owner of Bait Box on the Rock, a Fort Atkinson bait shop, says he got about a week and a half of good business for ice fishing. He says it's normally 2 months worth. With inventory ordered months ahead of the season, irregularities in winter weather can really hurt the business.
If I can turn over this deficit and by the end of this year be even at square zero or at even, I would consider that a success.
And he certainly isn't alone dealing with financial losses. It's even worse in northern Wisconsin, where businesses are reporting 75 to 80% less revenue than last year's January totals. And more changes to this weekend's Frozen Assets Festival because of the warmer weather. The Clean Lakes Alliance has made the decision to cancel Sunday's kite flying event on Lake Mendota. All the other on-ice events this weekend as well, like snowshoeing and pond hockey, have been canceled. Last week, the festival replaced the 5K walk and run with an outdoor workout on the Edgewater Grand Plaza, and that runs from 10 a.m. through 3 p.m. today. If being outside isn't for you, then maybe it's time to catch up on the latest in streaming. Our Will Loper shares a few of the best in this weekend's 3 Things to Watch.
I'm Jay. I'm John.
Newly streaming on Amazon Prime Video is the series Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
They didn't bring up that we'd be paired until the last interview.
It's an old KGB tactic. They draw less attention as a couple.
Very romantic.
The remake of the 2005 film follows two spies, played by Donald Glover and Maya Erskine, who pretend to be married while carrying out dangerous missions.
What is it that you two do? We're software engineers. Administer single dose, no casualties.
All 8 episodes of Mr. and Mrs. Smith are streaming on Amazon Prime Video now.
It's just a job. It is not life and death.
I'm Carla Hall, chef, foodie, and curious connoisseur of delicious dishes everywhere.
Newly streaming on Max is the series Chasing Flavor.
The recipe we use is hundreds of years old.
We're talking about before refrigerators.
We are time traveling.
Carla Hall travels the world to find the origins of dishes like tacos al pastor and ice cream.
What is going on? Here is ice cream. What?
All 6 episodes of Chasing Flavor are streaming on Max now.
My name's Orion, and I'm afraid. Afraid of what, you want to know? It's most things, to be candid.
And newly streaming on Netflix is the animated film Orion and the Dark.
What are you? Isn't that obvious? The room's dark. It's dark out. Hello, I'm dark.
Jacob Tremblay voices a young boy afraid of the dark. And when dark appears, it takes Orion on a journey to face his fears.
You really think you can fix everything I'm afraid of in one night?
One night can change everything. Is it me or am I more excited about this than you are?
Orion and the Dark is streaming on Netflix now.
Open your eyes.
No way.
Come on. See how much better that is, kid?
Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for Weekend Mornings.
And coming up next to look at our top morning headlines, stick with us. This is Weekend Mornings.
It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or check out the Summit Queen for only $299.99. Plus 6 years no interest and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, only at Denver Mattress.
When moderate to severe ulcerative colitis takes you off course, put it in check with Rinvoq, a once-daily pill.
When I wanted to see results fast, Rinvoq delivered rapid symptom relief and helped leave bathroom urgency behind. Check.
When UC tried to slow me down, I got lasting steroid-free remission with Rinvoq. Check.
And when UC caused damage, Rinvoq came through by visibly repairing my colon lining. Check. Rapid symptom relief, lasting steroid-free remission.
And a chance to visibly repair the colon lining. Check, check, and check.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq and learn how AbbVie can help you save.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you. Thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services by Attorney Trade Days. Attention all business owners. Did you own a business with 4 or more full-time W-2 employees between October 2020 and September 2021? If so, you may be entitled up to $26,000 per employee as part of the CARES Act. Don't miss out on your opportunity for compensation. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-613-5408.
It's the President's Day Super Sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or check out the Summit Queen for only $299.99. Plus 6 years no interest and free shipping. The President's Day Super Sale, only at Denver Mattress.
It's 8:30 right now. There's a lot you can make with a 3D printer, including for the first time ever, functional human brain tissue. We catch up with the team at UW-Madison who developed it. Plus, a pilot program will soon equip some Dane County deputies with body cameras. The details are straight ahead.
And we're going to see very nice temperatures going forward. The full forecast coming up.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Weekend Mornings. It is Saturday, February 3rd. Let's begin this new half hour by taking a look outside with your Saturday forecast. Jacob Montesano is here. Jacob.
Doing very nice today. We are going to see very nice weather over the next couple days, especially considering the time of the year. Now, right now we are seeing cloudy skies, temperatures in the lower 30s for the most part, winds out of the southeast at around 8 miles per hour. But the best news is that looking at the visibility, we're really not seeing any fog this morning, just a little bit. And that's really been the only hazard this week. And as we get towards next week, the fog is not going to be quite as bad. So looking at the current temperatures across our region, mostly in the middle to lower 30s, these temperatures are actually close to what we normally see as the high temperature for this time of the year. And this is also the time of the day that we typically see the lowest temperature of the day. So certainly these temperatures in the lower 30s, although still cold, they are well above average for this time of the year. Current wind speeds are also pretty calm, most of the area below 10 miles per hour, so we're not really seeing any wind chill values. Looking at the current radar, completely dry. That's the case for a lot of the Midwest and Great Lakes region. Not really seeing a lot of precipitation in sight. There is some precipitation in the central Great Plains as well as parts of the Rockies, but really all that moisture is going to be staying to the south of us for the next several days. We aren't expected to see rain until the end of next week. So looking at the forecast specifically for today, cloudy skies early, but sunshine is expected later for much of our area. We'll see highs in the middle to lower 40s. That'll be the case for Madison as well. So we are going to see some sunshine today. I know it's kind of been the clouds have just kind of lingered on a little bit, but we are expected to see sunshine, not just today, but for the next several days. And now the full detailed forecast for the rest of the weekend and next week coming up in just a little bit.
Jacob, thank you. Now some breaking news this morning. 2 people were stabbed in a dispute in a Fitchburg neighborhood. Fitchburg police were called to the Belmar neighborhood for a report of a large group gathered there. 2 people were stabbed with non-life-threatening injuries, and police also found a car that had been intentionally rammed into another. Police say everyone involved knew each other and there is no threat to the public. Also new overnight, the man who Madison police say hit and killed a 20-year-old woman on the Beltline has turned himself in. The Madison Police Department identified 59-year-old Jules Tunga Tommen as the suspect. MPD says he turned himself in around 10 last night and was booked into the Dane County Jail. A warrant had been previously issued for his arrest. Scientists at UW-Madison have taken 3D printing to a new level, becoming the first to print functional and growing human brain tissue. Our Aman Rahman talked to the minds behind 3D printed brains.
You can 3D print a lot of things that just stay lifeless objects, but no one's 3D printed living brain tissue until now. And living means operating, growing, and a whole lot more.
Actually, they can talk to each other.
The scientists grew the brain cells side by side from existing stem cells they had at the Weissman Center at UW-Madison. That way they could measure how the nerves grew and sent signals. One way they did that was put the printed brain tissue next to spinal cord tissue and muscle tissue to see how they talk.
When we control the activity of the cortical neuron, then we can control the contraction of the muscle cells. They contract and release and contract. We can control the movement of the hand or our feet, yeah.
While this has the potential to be used for therapeutics or spinal cord implants, the lead on the study says what's more important is using it to model and study diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's that are still difficult to understand, and then test drugs on the printed tissue more accurately.
Try to understand how our brain cells communicate to each other, how these cells actually calculate, because our brain is essentially a supercomputer, supercomputer.
Sarman Raman reporting. While the idea of self-sufficient 3D printed brain cells can sound scary, the team stresses that they are far from printing a whole organ. The Wisconsin Supreme Court says it'll hear Governor Evers' lawsuit arguing the Republican-controlled legislature is obstructing basic government functions. Evers' complaint brought forward 3 issues. As of now, the court will only hear one of them, which relates to the Budget Committee blocking funding for state conservation programs. Evers argued committees controlled by Republican lawmakers are being used by the legislature to reach beyond constitutional lawmaking authority. Oral arguments are set for April 17th. Dane County Sheriff's deputies will soon be equipped with body-worn cameras. Sheriff Calvin Barrett announced the launch of a new body cam pilot program on Friday. It is funded through the county budget and will place body cameras on more than 36 deputies in the West District. Barrett says the pilot phase will allow his office to find out what works and what needs to change before he hopes to implement the cameras countywide.
We're measuring what are the best practices, right? When do we activate them? How do we activate them? Also, what are the needs for what are the resources we need to appropriately go through all of the video, to document the video, to get it prepared, not only to give to the public, but also to the district attorney's office.
Dane County is joining Madison in the body camera experiment. The city council approved Madison's body cam program last fall. Madison's program will start April 1st. Dane counties will follow sometime later this year. Now moving overseas, where the U.S. launched airstrikes in Iraq and Syria last night in response to the deadly attacks that killed 3 U.S. soldiers and injured more than 40 others. The airstrikes coming just hours after the soldiers' remains returned home. Jen Sullivan looks at how these fallen troops were honored and how the U.S. is responding.
Under dreary skies in Delaware, the remains of 3 U.S. soldiers killed earlier this week returned to U.S. soil Friday. Sergeant William Rivers and 2 Army specialists who were posthumously promoted to the rank of sergeant, Kennedy Sanders and Breonna Moffett, were killed Sunday following a drone strike in Jordan. U.S. officials blaming Iran-backed militants. Days before their remains returned home, President Joe Biden calling the grieving families to express his deepest condolences.
I wish I didn't have to make this call.
Kennedy Sanders' mother breaking down on the call.
1% of all these kids are the ones that take care of 99% of us.
Friday, the 3 soldiers were honored in what's known as a dignified transfer. Just hours after their remains came home, the U.S. retaliating, striking more than 85 targets linked to Iran-backed militias in Iraq and Syria.
We need to make clear coming after U.S. soldiers is unacceptable. I think this is an important first step.
There are fears that any action the U.S. takes could further impact the Israel-Hamas war and broaden tensions it has sparked in the Middle East.
What concerns me the most is how many different ways this region could completely erupt into full-scale war.
Earlier in the week, President Biden cautiously saying this.
I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East.
Friday night, the president now saying the U.S. will continue its response at, quote, times and places of our choosing. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Time now is 8:38. Still ahead, the latest in medical news. Plus, Jacob has a check at today's weather. Stick with us. You're watching Weekend Mornings.
News 3 Now and Vortex present Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
Nice shirt.
Oh, thanks.
And those kicks.
Yeah, I got all this at the Salvation Army.
Wait, there's one here in town?
Yeah, I'll take you.
I'm in.
You're gonna love it.
All right. That's it? Brand new?
Now's your chance to save big on brand name clothes, the latest housewares, and brand new shoes.
Running shoes. Air fryers too?
The grand opening of the Salvation Army in Madison, February 2nd from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Beauty drops our jaws, dilates our eyes, and beauty is something we can create right now at Floor & Decor.
Big trucks can be intimidating, and so can their insurance companies. After a serious truck crash, you need a team on your side who knows how to handle trucking cases and who gets results. You need Gruber Law Offices. We know truck law, we know the rules and regulations, and we'll hold the insurance companies accountable. And there's never a fee until we win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it.
Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
If you haven't been to the Legend of Bergamot in the last 5 years, you will be stunned. It's the fastest growing club and community anywhere in this state. It's a spectacular lifestyle. Have you stood on our balcony at sunset? The view of miles of countryside over a perfect golf course with the sun setting just over your left shoulder. That's pretty good. Come become a member. If you just want to do it a little bit, come be our guest.
Sunday after the Grammy Awards, this year's Grammy nominees will get a Southern Wisconsin surprise in their gift bags. Get a look at these hair pieces. They're from a Janesville company looking to forge new style standards for men. Sunday on News 3 Now at 10.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is taking you beyond the barometer. Email your weather-related questions to firstwarn@wisctv.com, and our team of meteorologists will give you the answers on News 3 Now, live at 4.
Looking a little bit beyond the 10-day forecast, and it looks like the camera has moved on me. Oh, it's moving back. Should I stand right here? Or what's it going to do? All right. We'll stand right here and do the forecast. So here's a look at beyond the 10-day forecast. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, and it shows that the above average temperatures look to continue across our area. There really is no end in sight to the mild weather, so it looks like it's going to continue through the middle portion of the month. Now, looking at the precipitation outlook during that same time frame, it looks like we'll see near average precipitation. My guess is it will mostly be in the form of rain, although some snow looks like it could be possible towards the beginning of the following week. Now, here's a look at the precipitation chances just over the next 7 days. Pretty much a 0% chance of precipitation through Wednesday, but as we get towards Thursday, that's when our next chance of precipitation will be. And with temperatures possibly being in the 50s though that day, it will likely be in the form of rain with some snow possible by the time we get to the end of next weekend. I'll still have more on the forecast to come.
All right, thank you, Jacob. Now on to some medical news, including why some people are more sensitive to pain and how substance abuse by pregnant women can impact children for years. Natalie Brand has the week's top health stories.
Substances a pregnant woman ingests can affect the mental health of children even 10 to 12 years later. Research published in the health journal PNAS Nexus found that while caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and marijuana all have links to mental health issues, alcohol use by pregnant women in particular showed a strong connection to future sleep problems and mental health issues for children ages 10 to 12. High schoolers who reported using alcohol, marijuana, or nicotine are at higher risk for mental health disorders. Researchers surveyed more than 15,000 students in Massachusetts and found those who reported using had an increase in depression, anxiety, ADHD symptoms, and thoughts of suicide. The increase in symptoms were true even among young people with relatively low levels of use. And your age and gender can impact how sensitive you are to pain. A study from Ohio State University finds the part of the brain which inhibits pain changes as we grow older. This leads to older women becoming more sensitive to pain than older men. But the study authors caution that everyone experiences pain differently. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Natalie Brand, CBS News.
Still ahead, Zach checks in with Friday's news and sports, and let's take another live look outside. Jake will have his full forecast next on Weekend Mornings.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Today, we seize the day, because at US Cellular, you can get an epic Samsung Galaxy S24 with Galaxy AI. Now, you might be wondering, do I deserve a free Samsung Galaxy S24? You do. You deserve it. Each and every one of you deserves one.
Even me?
Look under your chair. That's right.
Incredible. It's incredible.
New and current customers can get the Samsung Galaxy S24 on us with no trade-in. US Cellular.
Everyone deserves a fulfilling job, but for people with disabilities, the barriers can be overwhelming. It's time to open the door to new possibilities. People with disabilities are getting the education, skills, and training needed to thrive in a wide variety of industries. And they're ready for an opportunity, a job, a career. Thinkability Wisconsin. All you have to do is start with yes. Join the movement at thinkabilitywi.org.
Come on, Michael, come on. Catch the ball! Huddle up! Do you need to get your eyes checked?
Well, actually, here's the play. Stanton Optical makes glasses in 30 minutes. It's easy on 3. 1, 2, 3. Easy!
Hut! Come on, Michael, you got this! Come on, turn! Michael, catch! I can see! You did it! I did it!
30-minute glasses? Now that's an easy play. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Struggling with the highs and lows of bipolar 1? Ask about Vraylar. Because you are greater than your bipolar 1. And you can help take control of your symptoms with Vraylar. Some medicines only treat the lows or highs. Vraylar treats depressive, acute manic, and mixed episodes of bipolar 1 in adults. Proven full-spectrum relief for all bipolar 1 symptoms. And in Vraylar clinical studies, most saw no substantial impact on weight. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Call your doctor about unusual changes in behavior or suicidal thoughts. Antidepressants can increase these in children and young adults. Report fever, stiff muscles or confusion, which may mean a life-threatening reaction, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, and high cholesterol may occur. Movement dysfunction and restlessness are common side effects. Sleepiness and stomach issues are also common. Side effects may not appear for several weeks. Ask about Vraylar and learn how AbbVie could help you save.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hello, everybody. Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know for the weekend and next week. We are going to remain dry throughout the weekend through Wednesday of next week to be in fact. Now, as we look at the next chance of rain, that will be for Thursday of next week. And then we also are going to see those temperatures remain in the 40s, possibly lower 50s at times. We could even be flirting with some record highs when those temperatures rise into the 50s. So here's another look at the January temperatures. We were above average a lot, but there was a 9-day stretch of below average temperatures, and those were the only 9 days in the entire month that we were below average. It was a fairly mild month, but as a whole, just 3.5 degrees above normal. Now, as we look at the snowfall for the month, we also saw fairly dry conditions with the exception of a stretch of time January 9th through January 13th. We saw just about 18 inches of snow, and because of that time frame, we were over average in terms of the amount of snowfall we normally see for the month. We had 22.8. We normally see about 13. Now looking at the precipitation chances for the next 7 to 10 days, very low chance through Wednesday, but then Thursday, that's when the rain will move into our area. But until then, it's going to stay to the south of us. Going to see a lot of rain in the southeastern region of the United States for the later portion of the weekend. By the beginning of next work week, there's going to be that system in the western half of the United States, and that system will slowly track its way into our area by Thursday, with rain likely continuing into Friday. Nothing extreme, but it does look like rain will be likely during that time. But for the weekend, very dry, and we also will see sunshine by this afternoon. Highs will be around 40, and then tonight we'll see lows in the upper 20s, which is close to the normal high temperature that we normally see for this time of year. So just shows you how much above average we are right now. And Sunday may be even warmer, with highs possibly in the middle 40s, possibly near 50 for you folks in La Crosse. And once again, we are expected to see partly to mostly sunny skies. Looking at the temperature trend for the next 10 days, we're going to remain in the 40s for the first half of the work week and then get into the 50s by Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, although we are going to get into 53, remember, that's the chance of rain, but we could be flirting with record highs for that day. Here's La Crosse's 10-day forecast. High temperatures look to be right around 50 for Sunday all the way through Thursday of next week, so it will be a bit milder for you folks in La Crosse. A bit colder for next weekend, but still above average with highs around 40. Precipitation chances in Madison do look to be a little bit more likely than for you folks in La Crosse, but still going to see temperatures relatively similar. Upper 40s, lower 50s for the middle portion of the week, and then we'll see highs around 40 for next weekend. Still a bit colder, but above average for this time of the year. Also have a chance of rain and snow to begin the following week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Now to sports with Zach.
Just when you thought the border battle couldn't get any bigger, Wisconsin and Minnesota added more fuel to the fire in the rivalry, entering both ranked in the top 10. This comes after the Badgers went into Minneapolis and swept the Gophers when they were ranked #1 in the nation. First time since 2006, the Kohl Center was the site for a top 10 border battle. Gophers struck first in the first period. It's a 2-on-1, and Oliver Moore puts the biscuit in the basket to give Minnesota a 1-0 lead. Now, it's not like Wisconsin didn't have their chances. They peppered the Gopher netminder, 41 shots, didn't get one pass until the third. Badgers fall in overtime, 2-1, the final. Speaking of top 10 matchups at the Kohl Center, there's going to be one on Sunday as well when Wisconsin welcomes in Purdue with the top spot in the Big Ten standings on the line. It's the 5th top 10 home matchup in program history, and we all remember the last one, 2022, Badgers and Boilermakers, and Chucky Hepburn banked home the game winner. This time around, though, Greg Gard knows if they want to repeat history, they've got to slow down Zach Edey.
Take two guys that are 4'8" and we tape them together, and we get to 7'4" or whatever. No, you can't replicate them because we don't have anybody that big. So I don't have anybody on the scout team. And it's not only just him; it's the other pieces they have. You know, they're a really, really good team, aside from Zach Edey. And then you throw him into the mix.
Round 2 in the Highway 23 rivalry between Mineral Point and Darlington. Redbird's only loss of the year was to the Pointers, and Broker Busher didn't forget. He gets the bucket to fall for 2 of his team-high 21. This one stayed close in the first half thanks to Landon Thousand. He drops home the floater. Thousand finished with a game-high 25, but Darlington would not be denied. Will Murray dials one up from deep. 13 big ones from him as the Redbirds get revenge and knock off the #1 team in Division 4. 72-60 is your final. And that's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
Thanks, Zach. And coming up next, a look at Apple's first new product line in 7 years. We're back in a moment.
Win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, and you'll have a chance to win a new Mercedes and a shot at $100,000 in cash. It's the Mega Jackpot Winners Quarterly Drawings going on now at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
News 3 Now and Vortex presents Spirit of Service, honoring those who've made a real difference in our community.
Do you know a veteran whose actions have been a positive force in the area? If so, nominate them for the Spirit of Service Award.
Log on to channel3000.com, nominate a veteran, and tell us why they're a pillar in our community. A winner will be selected on March 11th.
Help us celebrate our hometown heroes.
The Spirit of Service Award, presented by Vortex.
It's replacement window season. Do you have ugly, hard to open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy two, you get two free. Buy two Champion windows, get two free? I guess that means if you buy four, you get four free. Buy six, get six free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy Two, Get Two free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
Ordinary is the opposite of beautiful. Beauty drops our jaws, dilates our eyes, and beauty is something we can create right now at Floor & Decor.
Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what you need when you've been in a serious truck accident. Call Gruber Law Offices. We've successfully helped people injured by big trucks for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Your logo can identify your company, inspire your customers, and energize your team. We're 4imprint, and we can help your logo create moments that matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain. Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it.
Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
The Madison Camper and RV Show and Sale is back. Enjoy the great outdoors at the Alliant Energy Center Friday through Sunday, February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
The Emmy Award-winning News 3 Now this morning, weekdays.
Win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, and you'll have a chance to win a new Mercedes and a shot at $100,000 in cash. It's the Mega Jackpot Winners Quarterly Drawings going on now at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
Mission Unstoppable, Saturday morning at 9.
And finally this morning, you may have heard a new Apple product is now on store shelves. It's the company's first new product line in 7 years. The mixed reality headset is called Vision Pro. Apple CEO Tim Cook greeted eager customers at the company's flagship store in New York City on Friday. Cook calls the headset the most advanced consumer electronics device ever created. But you better start putting away some money now if you want to buy one. The Vision Pro costs $3,500 and the accessories are not included. Anyway, here now is Jacob Montesano with one final check of your Saturday forecast.
That's a lot of money. Anyway, let's take a look at the forecast. Highs will be in the 40s for the next several days, and we're also going to see dry conditions with partly to mostly sunny skies. By the time we get to Tuesday, it will be a little bit warmer, upper 40s, and then could get to 50 on Wednesday, although Wednesday we could see some clouds, and then that rain is possible at night, with rain likely Thursday into Friday. But even though it's going to rain Thursday, highs will be well into the 50s possibly. We could be flirting with record highs Wednesday and Thursday. The record high for Wednesday is 50. The record high for Thursday is 54. And some of those overnight low temperatures could break the record for the warmest low temperature during that day. As we get into Friday, we could see the temperatures kind of fall throughout the day. Then for next weekend, we'll see highs around 40, still above average, but a little bit colder than the 50s we'll see for the middle of the week. We also have a chance of some rain and snow for the beginning of the following week, as temperatures will still be around 40. But enjoy the next several days because it is going to be very nice for this time of the year.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you all for watching. We're back here tomorrow morning at 6:30.